What is going on, guys? It's Adam A.K. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Today, we have a lot to talk about. A ship is actually blocking the Suez Canal. If you know about that and the theories behind it, pretty crazy. We might just be distracted from what's really going on. We'll be right back right after this. Remember, nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else on the team. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. Make sure to respect the mods, and the mods will respect you. Speaking of that thumbnail there, that does have some meaning. We have an actual article that is talking about scientists implanting memories into your head. Imagine remembering something that never happened. That's exactly what we are going to be talking about later. On top of that, we are going to be talking about this here in a second. The Suez Canal is completely blocked up and ships backing up. Meanwhile, everybody is focused on the multiple events going around the country. Of course, the press saying, we're going to yank this, yank that, and all that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about that later. First off, I just want to remind you, every single article, every single tweet, every single video that you see here is going to be backed up with a bibliography of sorts on our website. In fact, if you go to marfooglenews.com right now, you will see, you won't believe this, scientists insert memories. When you click on that, you will, of course, see that it goes to every single article, tweet, video, everything that we're going to show you here. You can actually grab a second device and either follow along or go back and read all the way through. You also know exactly where your news is coming from. That's a great thing. On top of that, web-only content is too hot for TV. Most of that is not going to be talked about on the show. That is exclusive to the website. You have a ton of content there that is produced basically every day we have a show. We put extra content out for you to enjoy on our website, marfooglenews.com. Also, you can sign up for our notifications. Today's show is brought to you by NordVPN. You can do both at marfooglenews.com/VPN. Again, that's special code MARFOOGLE. All right, thank you guys for supporting us. We are truly independent. We do not have a multi-channel network, and we do appreciate you guys backing us up. Let's bring in Dex. Dex is my co-host. We're going to talk about this ship here in a second. And then, Dex, what's going on, and how are you doing today?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm trying not to get distracted.
So many of you see the words, Suez Canal, and you know exactly what we're talking about. But if you don't, we'll talk about that here in a minute. But first, we're going to get into some other news. Dex, if you can remind me around mid-show to go back over this, we'll show you what's going on there. First, though, we have some of the softer hitting news, and then, of course, harder hitting as it goes along. It says there's a commune of venomous cottonmouths on the North Carolina coast, and, of course, they have a Facebook page. It says if North Carolina has such a thing as celebrity wildlife, it would include a group of 100-plus venomous cottonmouths. It says Cottonmouth Acres. The page nearly has 1,500 followers and a bold approach to the things shared online. Nothing is held back. Posts in recent months have included the snakes engaging in combat wrestling, stuffing food in their mouths, giving birth, and flirting. One man is behind mud-drenched post, Frederick Boyce, herpetologist. Yeah, that's what they're called. Herpetologist at the North Carolina Aquarium. It says he is so protective of the snakes that he refuses to say exactly where they live. The more that I spend time with them, the more I understand them, and the more I admire them and like them. So, again, Dex,
look, that just bothers me. I guess it's natural, right? Like I've got a hiking place around here where they got signs up that say beware of rattlesnakes, because apparently there's some dens near there and a few of them mate, right? But just to think that there's like this huge swarm of cottonmouths somewhere on the coast of North Carolina, if I go to the coast and I want to, hang out around the water, I'm just going to be a little nervous about that, especially if somebody's, encouraging it and growing it.
Well, I'm glad that we, of course, are going to avoid that area. If you're from North Carolina and want to send us pictures of these crazy cottonmouths, you can do so. That's, again, you can go to markfugelnews.com and play my video if you want to send a video as well. Marco Rubio talks to TMZ about UFOs and the possibility of alien life. There's stuff flying over military installations we can't identify. So Marco Rubio, of course, has been in the news a lot over the last year for some of his statements, but this one is definitely most relevant to what's going on right now in the UFO community. Of course, we have about 2 months plus before this report comes out. This report's supposed to blow our minds, and of course, a lot of people are expecting a super amount of stuff to come out, and then some are expecting basically a fluff piece. If you don't know what they're basically putting together, evidence and all this stuff to report to Congress. They're going to release some stuff, and of course, I think it's going to be redacted. I don't think it's going to be like the mind-blowing full disclosure that people are looking for. But one thing is for sure: the government, the mainstream, and every other outlet is basically pushing UFOs, pushing aliens. And just 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago, this was, stuff for people like Secure Team 10 to be looked down upon because they were, theories and this and that, and they were crazies, right? Especially if you go back, 10 years, 20 years, of course, you look down on UFO, sightings and things like that. The Navy itself actually changed their rules, and they changed it to basically say that if you are in any part of the Navy, that you need to report a UFO sighting immediately. Not hide it, not say, okay, I'm not going to say anything about that because that's I'm not trying to lose my job. Instead, it is actually encouraged and even rewarded in some cases. Sorry about the God mode there. But yeah, they were even rewarded in some cases. So you're talking about, if they saw the right thing and did it, they could, get temporary rewards. So I heard that from a couple people. So it's definitely been changing. Why? Why, though? Why is this all coming out now? Why are we going to the moon? Why are we going to Mars? Why do we have Space Force? Why are we doing Starlink with hypersonic sensors? Why, is China and Russia going to the moon and making a base? We don't have all of the answers for these things because we're civilians. But a lot of the military folks in our group believe that they are preparing for something massive. That's why yesterday's show, I think, is, it's already at around 40,000 views. Is because people are agreeing with that statement that something massive is coming. And I don't think that there's too many people that can argue that feeling, at least. There might be the skeptic here and there, but I do believe after last year's event with CV and everything else that's happened, it's pretty clear that something is going on all around us. And for those asleep, I don't know what to say. It said that TMZ, which of course is usually stopping celebrities, stopped the senator, a member of the Senate Committee on Intelligence and Reagan National Airport on Monday, noting that the government is now required to release a report detailing everything officials know about UFOs. And his quote was, "There's stuff flying over military installations and nobody knows what it is and it isn't ours," he said, adding that it's logical to want to identify these unidentified flying objects. It's common sense, right? So with all of the videos that we've seen all over the world, it makes you think how many of those are actually real. It really does beg to differ. They say that an insane percentage of people actually do either believe in UFOs or have seen UFOs or are open to the idea of UFOs, or they believe, again, I should say, because that's just an unidentified flying object, in aliens or in extraterrestrial, beings from other planets. Some people think that they are fallen angels. Some people have religious reasons, why they would think that they were something other than aliens, but rather, angels. Whatever you may think, it's the majority of us that actually do believe that there is something above us, whether that be a glass dome or, whatever you might think is up there, that's fine. Again, it's, our show is all about open-minded and trying to understand others and their opinions. It says, I think the worry is that there's stuff flying over our facilities and we don't know what they are, said the senator. You know what I mean? So that's the concern. Maybe it's the other logical explanation, or maybe it's the other logical explanation to it. So, again, when he put that, he goes, after they're flying over military installation, they don't even know who it is. So that's a problem we need to find out if we can. Rubio went on to crack the aliens must be smarter than humans if they made it all the way here when we can't get there. We don't know what that stuff is flying over the top of our installations. Let's find out, he added. Maybe it's another country, and that would be bad news too. So is this a setup? Did you notice how he threw that in at the very end?
Yeah, that's the second time we've seen this, right? This is now another politician that is, or somebody in the know. I think the last time was a defense person, but comes out and says it could be an adversary.
And if our adversaries are secretly flying over our military bases, or if they tell us that, that's grounds for some retaliation of some sort, I would believe. They didn't do anything right, but does that mean that they were spying and doing all this stuff? And who knows what's going to happen there? But it seems like we're being set up for them to come out, report this, and say, no, it's actually China. We need to go to conflict with China. That's just one opinion. I'd love to hear yours. Bobby Ballin says, the sky is never clear. Plane farts are meant to hide what's coming. A lot of people have that view, and of course we get hundreds of comments per video of people saying, that something is coming as far as a planet or anything else. Again, what do you guys think? Put it in the chat. I'll be popping over there in just a second. He who shall not be named, I guess Voldemort is in the chat. Thank you so much for the massive and generous support there. If that was a mistake, did a $50 super chat, which is huge. Thank you again. You can always write a message, especially with that. If you did do that on accident, you can always fix that in your YouTube app. And thank you. Appreciate it. We are truly independent. Doc Bill, Mancurian candidate. Doc Bill, I don't know if you're talking about the one of the documentaries or videos that's out there, but I saw something like that on demand, I think. Barefoot Lass, all of the darkness in the... Oh, I get what you're saying there, because he was September 2001 accused or whatever, right? Okay, I haven't seen that yet, so I'll have to check it out. And then Barefoot Lass, all of the darkness in the world cannot extinguish the light of a single candle. Favorite quote. And then EMP Shield. Hey, Andrew, I hope that's you or whoever is there at EMP Shield. Thank you so much for stopping by. Massive support from you as well. Thank you so much. You guys don't have to do that. Again, I see you guys. I just saw you the other day supporting another channel, which doesn't even do your affiliation. So I really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Andrew. I really do appreciate that support. And thanks for actually watching the show, too. I know you guys come in all the time, and that is appreciated. They call me Flipper, another one. I tithe to your channel because you and Dex run a morally sound channel. You're a genuinely good person. You encourage people to be kind, and that's important because people can really suck. I also love the Shoutro tunes. Keep your heads up. They call me Flipper. Thank you, and I really do appreciate it. And I guess that's a unique way to put it, and appreciate that. And then Sandy Bollinger, thank you so much for your support as well. And again, thank you for everybody that does help us continue to run this. And we want to expand. That's the ultimate goal. I mean, we want to get bigger without getting bigger in subscriber. We want to get bigger and bring people on, whether we gain a single viewer or not. That's just, that's what my goal has always been. ET Intel, scientists discover clues to emissions of intergalactic fast radio burst, study says. So just remember, and then Dex, again, this is something that's just been flying around. So one of the military officials basically said, they believe we have recovered, crafts from outer space, and the findings will basically change everything. It will change everything you have thought up until this time, right? Which is also kind of a weird thing. Like, it wasn't UFOs, it was somebody else. Or it was some, 40-year-old black project that we didn't know about. Again, they said that. And now of course, we've had 2 interstellar visitors. We've had Oumuamua, which I've talked to Jacob, and I believe Jacob Israel thinks the same thing on this, as far as, he did that video on Oumuamua being Scout. They actually named it Scout, and it was our first interstellar visitor. It basically came from outside of our universe, apparently, or supposedly, and it was this weird thing. And even a Harvard professor said, I think that was a ship, or that might be a ship. This same Harvard professor has been in the news lately because he's really pushing it. And then out of nowhere, we've never had an interstellar object like this, and then all of a sudden we have a second. Not to mention that first one, Oumuamua, which, of course, they named Scout, which is weird in itself, like it's the first one of many. Oumuamua sped up on its way out. Now, they, of course, I'm sure have some sort of scientific reason for this, but when you actually look at the kind of trail of it, it's really creepy. It goes by Earth, and then it speeds out. It didn't swing. I don't know if they say that it swung by Earth and Earth's gravity, catapulted it, but it went faster on its way out. That's really spooky. So what are they expecting? Do they expect, are we going over and trying to hide at Mars or something? Do we know of them coming back at some point? So they have a goal now all of a sudden after, and again, a lot of this stuff started after Oumuamua. Dex, I don't know if you remember, when was Oumuamua? Isn't it kind of weird that after Oumuamua we had all this weird stuff go down?
Oh yeah, it's really weird, and even the comet was weird, and what happened with that. There's just been numerous things, and I predict, this is just my idea, is that this radio wave stuff, they're going to come out later and explain what's really going on there. Right now, I think it's just, they keep coming up with these, cover stories for it. Like, oh, we've got this radio wave, but we think it's a neutron star, or we think it's this other thing. So,
well, and that's the other thing. Most of them are theories. It's not like we have a conclusive physics-based science. Most of them are saying, well, we think it's this, but you can't prove it either way, right? That's how they explain most of these space phenomena. And they say, we think it's a rare phenomena then, and it could be this and this and this. And they use real science and then kind of combine a couple things that most civilians wouldn't get, and then say, we think it's that, but we don't know. How do they not, how do they keep telling us that they know what it is when they're telling us they don't know if that's true, or if they don't know if that, what it is?
Well, it's fortunate for them. It's in their title, right? They're, what do they call them? Theoretical physicists. So they get to come up with all sorts of theories.
Exactly. And then, of course, researchers have arrived at the most precise time estimates to date pertaining the mystery of the so-called fast radio bursts, or the FRBs, which are abrupt pulses from Sorry, I just like making weird gremlin sounds when I mess up. Which are abrupt pulses from distant cosmic worlds. You're a professional. That typically come in odd patterns, thus spawning the wildest theories from those about interacting stars and the way to alien life. It says an international team of astronomers has looked into the repeating short-scale fast radio burst, commonly referred to as the abbreviation FRB, and it's revealed that its microstructure or pattern of variable brightness, according to a study. And then it says that the newly applied technique in the probe, whereby team led by this Nimmo student at the Anton Pannick, studied the burst's signature at extremely minute periods within its millisecond long pulses, can unveil clues into the emission techniques. Long story short, it says that the researchers managed to obtain this high time resolution data on FRB, a mind-blowing repeating radio pulse that operates in a 16-day cycle. It says it's from the European Very Long Baseline Informatory Network, which is made up of advanced telescopes based on 4 continents. It says the microstructure that we refer to in the study's title is that we see the brightness of the burst itself vary on a microsecond timescale, Nimmo told Vice in an email, adding that these short recurrent fluctuations in brightness, to a great extent, constrain the size of the FRB emission region, which estimated to span about a kilometer or half a mile. It says otherwise said, the technique of probing FRBs at very short timescales, providing its insight into physical space around the enigmatic source of these radio pulses, which notably lies some 457 million years away, or light years away, from our planet in a totally different galaxy. So I guess that would be interstellar. So possibly getting some sort of message from outside of our galaxy. And then we get 2 random visitors that we've never had before in about a year's time. Okay. Either way, speaking of the devil there, thank you so much for being here again. And I should have said what Jacob Israel says. Speaking of the angel, he said that yesterday in his chat when I popped in. Thank you, EMP, for supporting us. But again, I hope you guys support them. This is not only a family-owned and veteran-owned business. Again, this is a company that is not only contracted with agencies like DHS, DOD, but now they're officially on the DEMSO team helping protect the Texas grid. We've given you all of the news and all of the updates on what is going on, and that should be enough to tell any civilian, it's time to prepare for things like this. Again, you should look into this. It is definitely Keystone tested, military standard. I would rather have the protection that, the big guys have instead of depending on somebody else to protect me. Again, it can protect against all 3 phases, E1, E2, and E3. And it can protect you up to 228,000 amps in solar flares, so the natural kind. Again, you can go to marfugalnews.com/EMP. Right now, they are doing the best sale they've done since, I believe, last Black Friday, which is basically our $50 off combined per device with their stacking sale. So 2, you get $20 off, so that's $70 off per device. Again, you can go over and check that out. You can get up to $100 off when you buy 5 devices. All right, thank you guys for supporting us in the first place, but again, I hope that you guys check it out either way. All right, that is marfugalnews.com/EMP, and thank you, Andrew, for stopping by. I really do appreciate that. And then we have this. Okay, so I got to be careful around this. And Dex, if you want to jump in at any time, let me know. So today, a video came out on YouTube, and there was 2 warnings. And I saw this. I saw this article basically saying that that this event was live streamed, and I thought, oh no. The first thing that went through my head was, oh, they're going to take away live streaming. And I thought this was like the NZ event that happened, a couple years ago. I thought that the actual guy was the one streaming. And I said, oh, no. And it turns out it was some other guy, like random channel. This guy has only been on for 6 months and does, all just kind of random events. It's like he's got like 8 videos total and has had all of his stuff be kind of responding something like, oh, a woman's fighting in the park. Just happened to be there and happened to cover it. And that video was just so weird because in the very beginning, he walks in and the staff are just kind of sitting there and said, yeah, he walked in that way. And they don't even look scared. And I'm like thinking, I would be out of there so freaking quick. And then he goes, yeah, there's one right there. And it's a person, right? And then there's 2 people out in the parking lot. And then the guy, some called him brave, some called him stupid, some called him all sorts of names. But again, he was right there streaming it. And I was thinking, man, this is a good way to, okay, so if this was the guy that did it, streaming it, that would be one thing. But this is like a civilian streaming it. So technically, yes, you should keep that up, right? People should be able to see that. That should be freedom of the press. If this guy is claiming to be a small-time kind of news guy and goes, it sounds like he listens to the police radios and goes and responds, then yeah, that should be on there. But why so many other videos are just gone, and this one got an age restriction, and actually I think it had 2 warnings, but they left it up. And of course, all these people rushed there. I mean, it was close. It was over 500,000 views. And I just thought it was so weird that they let this one through. Why would they let people watch that, right? When they don't let anybody else watch anything else. I mean, the things that they do get rid of and the things that they don't, I don't understand. I mean, it's really clear that there's obvious. I mean, it's a fact. It's a bias. All of these companies have a bias, and they can't really deny that at this point. They say they don't, and again, most people have the opinion that they do, especially anybody that works, with them. But as far as that video, it's almost like they wanted people to see it.
Yeah, well, and there's also conflict now around this guy's actions as to whether he should have done that or shouldn't have done that.
Well, why wasn't he checking on the people?
Right. And so, that sort of, on one hand, you've got like this scene and you want to protect it and preserve it because
he ran right past somebody. Do you realize that?
Messing with it. Yeah. But on the other hand, you also don't want to restrict the freedom of press, so to speak. Right. So I get both sides of the coin. And I can understand the conversation that's happening right now where people are upset about it. But then it's also interesting that it's certainly convenient that someone was there at the time and then just went into.
Oh, I'm not even going to get into that.
Yeah.
Besides that, it just doesn't seem right because it's like once he goes in those double doors, he goes and runs down the ramp. He doesn't even look down at the person who before he showed was right there on the ramp. So he basically stepped over somebody to go run, and then I'm sorry, I just thought it was so weird, and then it was like boom, it just didn't make sense, and then you didn't see where the two first people were that were employees. They were sitting there just kind of like, well, like they're back there. There's one right there and one right there, and it's like if you saw that, how would you be waiting? This isn't like a shoplifter that you wait at the door and go, oh yeah, he's right over there in aisle 3. This is like a guy has taken every person who is visible out. The logic is just is crazy. So you guys know this event. I don't need to tell you guys this. This isn't news to you because everybody's talking about it. 10 people. So that very horrible event. You guys can look into this. I would highly recommend going and watching that video. It's not very, they put 2 warnings on it saying this is graphic. All it actually wasn't. I mean, compared to if you were unlucky enough to see the NZ thing, yeah, I mean it's nothing compared to that. It's something that, yeah, I mean we've seen a lot. I'm just surprised at that kind of thing, considering all of the previous events, any kind of footage like that was gone. And then of course now the press comes out and says some stuff about it. So Dex actually did something really smart. While all of that is going on, again, Indianapolis had a second event, which nobody's really talking about today. At least yesterday they were on the live police radio. My wife and I were listening to. Indianapolis had a live event. So there's all sorts of things. They're everywhere. All of a sudden, just out of nowhere. And just so you know, I basically passed on what that military group member said. Do anybody here and make sure to call it out if you were here for when I said this. Just 2 or 3 months ago, I said we're going to see a whole lot more of those events this year and soon. And that was just going purely off of what he said. He said, I believe that there's going to be a lot more of these, and here's why. And then he showed me some of the different operations that were going on. And they weren't related to that. I'm saying they were defensive and training. And then look, do you guys remember that? Specifically, I even had to use my hands, which even my hands got picked up. I couldn't believe it. So if you do remember that, I'm telling you, it's just nuts. Zippy Moons, you remember that? Hopkinson, what is going on? One on B, Cheryl Dupress. By the way, I was just watching a Hobson music video earlier. Colorado man live streams Boulder supermarket event. This is again, Dean Schiller was using his cell phone to video the police activity during the scenario at the South Boulder King. And it says that Schiller, whose feed drew more than 30,000 viewers, How did he get 30,000 viewers? And before today, he had 100 views, 200 views. I'm guessing from the views, he probably had, maybe maybe a couple hundred subscribers, maybe 500, maybe 1,000. Usually have about 10 to 20% of your subscribers watch. Sometimes up to half if it's something interesting. So maybe he had 1,000 subscribers. Now he has 10. How did 30,000 people find his video? He doesn't even have 30,000 subscribers, which means it was recommended and put out there. I'm just surprised that, we back up all of our stuff. We put a bibliography of our sources, and we can't get that.
And for it to be found, if people were searching, it would have had to have their correct keywords, which I would have thought the system would have shut down as soon as that event
immediately
happened.
If you didn't know this, they have a system now after the NZ event where they can shut down all of that. Major B, thank you for putting FF. Be much appreciated if they were going to do it, put that. It says Mr. B urges Senate to immediately pass House bills to reform. I mean, it's like a Twilight Zone where you just keep going in the same loop. It's like Groundhog's Day. Do you guys agree? This is the quote. We have become a bit desensitized to the blank in America, but for it to happen right outside your front door, 500 feet where you perform your everyday activities, it is shocking. It is scary. It is something I wouldn't wish anybody to go through. I'm lost for words. So speaking of which, when it happens if it happens on the government's front door, then things get done right away. But if it happens on our front door, there's no action whatsoever. In fact, you're left out to dry or your business to, die. That's the truth. At least in my mind. So very sad events. I'm praying for the people that are possibly involved in this and whatever is going on, always give the benefit of the doubt and pray for those involved. Everybody in there, really do feel sad about that. But I just, to use this, a micro event, and I do call, and I shouldn't say it like that, but think about it. There's 379 million people, and one person does something crazy. That should be science. Do you take out the actions of one person out of 380 million people on 999 million people? Especially when people don't remember what the whole thing was, why we introduced that. We have a really horrible history. But again, history is now being forgotten. History is now being deleted. Alt-delete. Boom. Gone. Tear down any reminders of why we had those rules in the first place. It wasn't for the people. It wasn't for your neighbors. It was for the people above your neighbors. And then, again, if you have not protected yourself against virtual threats, I would highly recommend doing so. We're going to grab the next caller. Remember, you can actually get up to 70% off right now if you get a 3-year plan. It actually makes it incredibly cheap to protect yourself. You can actually protect up to 6 devices on one account. It hides your IP address and basically hides you. It can anonymize you. So, Dex, it looks like we have, let's see here. Okay.
And Adam, I got to remind you to bring up that other thing that sort of the distraction. And I don't know if you're going to do that now or not.
Oh, no. That's great. Again, If you would like to call in, the number is 224-400-MARF. It looks like that caller just dropped, so no worries. And by the way, Lucy Jake, thank you so much for your support over on PayPal. Looks like you went over during the live show. I've been a subscriber since you started your channel, but I've rarely participated in the chat. Love what you stand for and what you speak the truth. Marfoogle News is the only news I use with admiration and the utmost respect. Well, thank you, Lucy. I appreciate that. And then Nappy Soldier, thank you so much. Again, says, take me on a music trip. Let's vibe. Much love, brother. Love it, Nappy Soldier. And then Kirkston, Adam, I am praying for you, brother. Diverticulitis is no joke. I've missed a couple of your shows. My heart has been out of the rhythm again. I had to go back to the cardiologist. I have just got home from the hospital myself. I need rest. Take care of yourself, and I hope that this helps out. I said, I will see you soon. Appreciate all you do. Kirkson, no worries. And I guess you stopped by with another screen name. I remember that. Isn't that crazy? There are 5,000 people here, and I remember that. I don't know how I do it anymore. I know pretty much every name in here, or most of them that have been here for more than, a few months. Suzanne M., thank you so much for your support over on PayPal. And then Judy R., thank you for going over during the show as well. And then, again, if you would like to call in about any of the subjects we are talking about today, 224-400-MARF. And then let's bring this up. So, again, all of that is going on. Perfect time to bring this up. It says one of the largest container ships in the world, Evergreen, is currently stuck in the Suez Canal. All tugboats Egypt can spare are currently attempting to move it. Dozens of ships are waiting to pass. Now, if you zoom in on this, you see it's taking up the entire canal. There's no pass. That almost seems set up. How did a boat in such calm waters just kind of... I mean, even if it's stalled out, you would think that they could throw down an anchor or something and pull it to the side. I don't understand. It must have, drifted and then got stuck up on a bank or something. I don't understand this, Dex. And it looks like Dex is trying to... Never mind, Dex. You can do your thing. So, check this out. If you don't remember a clip talking about the Suez Canal and what possibly could happen there, this is, of course, one of the major trade routes. I want to say 70%, but somebody in the chat can actually correct me if somebody wants to be my Dex temporarily. How much of a percentage of the world's oil goes through this canal? It is a major thoroughfare. So this is something that you would have to control if you wanted to control the world. If you wanted to control, the actual world, if you wanted to take it over, you would need waterways like this because it is such a major thorough through. And then it just so happens to get stuck, and they're trying with every tugboat, and they can't. How did this happen? One thing I want to point out is in history, we've had these kind of weird events happen right around all of this, and everybody's, looking one way and looking the other, and then boom, something hits us. We were currently in a talk with Japan. We were currently in a talk with Japan, peace treaty, when they, hit Pearl. So I would like everybody to think about that. Alley Cat, WTF. We've got Nerdville here, Monica Kelly. We the people want the Georgia Guidestones to be eradicated and destroyed. Says Monica. Heaven's Calling, thank you for the and of course Stop, Listen, Think is here. J Girl, that's me. Hey, what's going good? Jimmy Shively, hey, how are you doing? Green Bay Lady, 3.2 million barrels of oil per day. That is awesome. And let's see here. Stormy 7572, hey, how are you doing? Maui Racing Realtor, Kim O'Donnell, Frank Sermini, and Roger That says just get one of the other ships to bump it forward. Yeah, they've been trying everything. They've been trying to do it. And again, Suez Canal. I would highly recommend, even if mods, I don't know if my mods can put that specific link of the guy talking about the 7 countries in 7 years. talking about, this kind of event or something that kind of stops up stuff, and then something happens, people get angry, something is painted like a different kind of ship, and then boom, you got yourself something that would start off, all hell breaks loose. Pretty crazy stuff. All right. We definitely, the system here, again, remember to call 224-400-MARF, and we're going to be taking calls here in a second. I'm going to get to this as well. Scientists can implant false memories and reverse them. So listen close. Memories are tricky and can comprise much more than our actual recollections. One thing that you will learn if you do any kind of police psychology or anything like that, they actually talk about how police can try to basically make people think something. I watch a channel called Audit the Audit, or Audit the Auditor, and they basically teach you how to, well, they say they're not technically teaching you, but I watch it because it teaches you a lot about your rights, and it gives you specific examples of different states. If you guys have ever watched Audit the Audit, it's First Amendment auditors that get audited by this channel, and they go over like who did a great job. Did the police? He ranks the police, and he ranks the people, A through F, and ranks the police A through F. How good was the auditor? How good was the police? And people get arrested. People, get arrested on their own property and basically say, I don't want to give you my identification, that kind of stuff. So one thing that they do is they have done it in many cases, and there's famous cases where the police have made them misremember something by suggestion. And I think this is a little bit related, but it says our minds can make memories out of the stories we've heard. So that is a very important part. When you know this fact, is that not scary or what? And the way that can be utilized is by mainstream media putting a story out enough that we remember it that way. It says, or photographs we've seen, even with the actual recollections, are long forgotten. So they put a couple key photos or key videos in your head, and then boom, it's there. The story's there. You're sure of it. You're 100% sure of it. But get this. New research suggests that this can happen even when the stories aren't true. Well, no duh. It says, I find it so interesting, but so also scary that we base our entire identity and what we think about our past on something that's so malleable and fallible. It says, Oberhurst is the first author of the study released Monday in the Proceedings of a National Academy of Sciences that examines false memories and what can be done to reverse them. False memories, the study suggests, are more than unsettling. When they take root, they can disrupt a courtroom and the fate of individuals there. It says necessary background. One of the biggest sources of false memories, says Oberhurst, is clinical psychologists who believe in repressed memories. This is an idea of a person who has experienced a traumatic event could selectively forget memories of their trauma. It's really well documented that those people usually suffer from what is not to be able to forget. They have flashbacks, they have PTSD. They cannot push it away, says Oberhurst. It says there's not much evidence for repression. It says, but if a therapist says to a patient that their current symptoms suggest that they may have, for example, been abused, and that the patient doesn't remember it, it still could have happened. This can trigger false memories. So then all of a sudden that person actually remembers being abused, but it didn't actually happen. It says if people try to search for a memory, they usually find something. Another thing is we've seen it where police, they'll say what kind of hat they're wearing. And the person says white first second after they saw the person. 10 minutes later, the police says, you said you saw him in a red hat, right? When the police says that, they remember a red hat. They've done studies on this where witnesses can be, basically molded. Think about that. Think about how easy it is to trick humans into believing mass causes. Many victims of TI situations are attacked, and that with that method, basically make them look crazy. Hence, false confessions, says Jen Josephs. Exactly. Rosie O'Donnell and the repressed memories. Rosie O'Donnell in general is a repressed memory for me, too. Kelly 2334, that's terrible. USA, a nation of sheep. It's not the USA, it's everybody. It's the entire world. Kara Fuse, thank you, says let me see, I can't read that whole thing. Kara Fuse art on the eBay. I sell vintage jewelry, and I hope $10 is enough to cover this plug, Adam and Dex. Oh, that's awesome. Kara Fuse art. No problem. Thank you for saying that too. Kara Fuse art, again, on eBay. Sells vintage jewelry, and it's a Fuglefam member. So we used to have the Discord with a Fuglefam businesses page. So I hope people support other Fuglefam members, especially artists. As you guys know, we've done many things where we've tried to help people get their art sold as well. Cindy Akron, thank you, says, hey, Adam and Dex, been watching faithfully for over 3 years now. You guys are my daily fix, like my coffee. Can't function without my daily Marfugel. Thank you, Cindy. I really do appreciate that, and thank you for your generous support. I am a win. Tracy Underwood, thank you guys, both of you. And then Stormy7572, it says it's frozen on DLive. Dex, I don't know if you are still there. Much love to the fam, says Witch's Brew. Travis Morris.
Hey, I'm here, Adam.
If you can, just check the DLive situation. We are having some technical difficulties with the phone, though. Okay, so we do have... Do we have a caller, or is looks like it's...
Yeah, we do have a caller, Mr. White.
Okay. And talking about Florida military movement, calling from Massachusetts. If you want to call in, 224-400-MARF. If you've seen something crazy in the last few days, let us know.
Hey, how's it going tonight?
Hey, what's going on? Mr. White, what is going on in Florida?
Well, I live way out here at Key to Key. It's the middle of absolute nowhere. Absolutely beautiful. But as of the last couple of months, I've been Black Hawk movements, like buzzing overhead like 200 feet, Chinooks 200 feet. The other day I had 3 C-130s buzz overhead, like in a formation going eastward. And I've noticed since I've been down here, like the ramp up of the flights I see on a constant basis, like constantly, like every day I hear them buzzing overhead. And second, the other thing I wanted to call about was the incoming media we have. I love astronomy. It's one of my biggest little things I love to do. But I was out looking for things out in the mushroom field, and I love watching meteor showers, but there was no meteor shower happening at that point. It was like a month and a half ago, give or take. And it was like big ones at like 15 a minute. And then all of a sudden it went from, I couldn't see my hand in front of my face, like in the middle of a field, in the middle of nowhere, so I could see clear across the field, like immediately. It was like someone put a spotlight in the middle of the field. And I've been seeing a ramp up of that too. Like every night I sit out back and watch the stars, and I just constantly see shooting stars, like way more than I've ever seen.
Well, so across the country, we've seen a lot of sightings, and what's funny is I just pulled up something on Twitter about asteroids, and the person says, anyone else seeing more frequent stories on UFOs, sightings, and asteroids in the news? This is what I've been saying for a year. This was actually back in 2019, so it's been 2 years ago. Think about that. We've seen so many different stories. It's like total uptick. And then all of a sudden at the same time as 2018 through 2021, we've got Space Force. We've got all this stuff going on. What do you think is actually happening?
Exactly. I think some things are coming in that they don't say. I mean, I remember our first call I called in with Comet Atlas, that it was doing all this crazy stuff. Like the coma was like twice, or like half the size of the sun. Then it just like all of a sudden stopped and disappeared. And ever since that point, if you look at derelict objects that are coming inbound, if you look on just from what they're saying to us, it is like more than 10 times the amount that I've seen before. Because I love astronomy. That was my minor in college. And I love watching the stars. And I live in the middle of, I went from Massachusetts, like Taunton, where I lived, down to Cedar Key, Florida. I'm talking about the middle. I'm next to a nature reserve. Like the nearest store is like 20 minutes away, and I haven't worn a mask in like 5 months. Middle of nowhere, and the stars are absolutely stunning. I have amazing views, and it's just every single night I'm seeing shooting stars, way more like outside of meteor shower times. And like I said, I've been star watching out in New Mexico, down here in the middle of a nature reserve in Florida. And that one I saw like a month and a half ago out in the cow field is that I've never seen anything like it. It blew my mind. I was like, I went from like midnight, couldn't see my hand, to clear across the field. It was absolutely stunning to me.
Well, there's so many stunning things to see, especially in 2021, where nobody would be surprised by anything, and that's like a running joke of 2020 and 2021. It's like, what next? So, well, thank you for calling in tonight.
Exactly right. I just felt like calling. I got ticked the herds, and I felt like I was calling about something at least.
Oh no, this is exactly what we wanted. So thank you so much, and I appreciate you calling in. And don't be a stranger. Have a good night. That's again Mr. White. Have a good. That was Mr. White from Massachusetts. Do you agree with him? Have you seen different things like this, and you want to tell us about it? Let us know. 224-400-MARV. Kate Paul, thank you from Canada, and Doc Bill, Manchurian candidate. I always thought that was Manchurian. Have I been saying it wrong the whole time? Or is Manchurian a different one? Either way. Dex, did you ever figure out what was going on DLive?
Yeah, we had some problems earlier. We actually had a problem getting it started. Something must be up with DLive's streaming system, because it took us 3 times to get started over there. But once a little while ago, we did have a hiccup, and it wasn't streaming well on their systems. So, but it's been good for the last 10, 15 minutes. I've had no problems.
Oh, okay. All right, perfect. Well, thank you everybody over on DLive that basically sat through that. That is appreciated. It looks like there's over 1,000 over there, so thank you. And then, of course, tonight's. And I think we missed something big over there. Did we not? We missed a Ninjet. Holy moly. Wait. Do we need the woke or broke? Nope. Thank you, Cynthia Lynn. That was your quick Ninjet song. Again, I don't believe you've been on the list. Dex, make sure to add her just in case she's not. We are doing a big piece with all of the Ninjet supporters at some point. Hopefully, my idea is to have a huge physical piece with everybody who has done that. It's a very small group of people, so we wanted to do something very special for those that go above and beyond. Of course, there are folks that do it on YouTube as well, so we're going to have 2 different really cool pieces. All right, and then Kate Paul says, hey, it's me, Shutterbug. Kate, lost my old account. Starting over. Great show as always. Kate Paul, that sucks. I don't know. You could have like put Shutterbug, Kate 1 or something. That's weird. Thank you from Canada again. That sucks. A lot of people are losing their accounts for stupid reasons. Marv, stay out of the hospital. Proctor, man. Wow. Thank you. I appreciate that. Don't have to do that. If that was a mistake, let me know. And then let's see here. Thank you for supporting Independent. All right, let's get this over here. Thank you, everybody over there on DLive. Cynthia Lynn, Kelly2334, who is in number 2 spot. Smoky Mountain Gal, you're a mod. You know you don't have to do that. Everglazed, Lisa K, thank you so much. And again, thank you for all your support over there. So, again, you've got these memories. They've been putting that in. Now you have Mr. Gilly wants to spray millions of tons of chalk into the stratosphere. So, are people waking up yet? I'm going to show this to my friend Jack, and I hope he realizes, like, you know, everybody thinks that, oh, well, now they're going to start doing it. If they are going to start doing this and we're now going to see it, how like epic is this going to have to be for us to notice this happening? Or for them to say that they're doing it? That means they must, you know, be turning this up to like 50. Like the whole sky, like we're going to see formations doing spray. Does that mean we're getting closer to something? Do we need more blockage? Of course, they say that it says, could dimming the sun help cool the earth? Gilly wants to spray millions of tons of chalk into the stratosphere to reflect sunlight and slow the warming of the earth. But critics fear that it could be disastrous. So why are we listening to the guy that basically created, you know, Windows 10 for advice on the earth, humanity? I mean, the guy, you know, the guy's smart business-wise. He's definitely rich. But he's not even college educated. He was a college dropout. And we're headed to him for basically advice on how to be good humans. I don't understand it. He's also suggesting that we switch over to artificial meat and grow our meat in a lab. Why are we listening to this person about everything? From what we put in our bodies, to what we put in our sky, to what we put in our mouth. Do you understand? Like everything that involves our human bodies is now getting involved with the Windows 10 creator. Mind you, he also created Windows 7 and Windows X. Do you remember how horrible those are? Just remember Windows 7, okay? Remember Windows 7 when you think about doing this stuff. It says the first test of the project backed to spray millions of tons of chalk into the stratosphere in an attempt to dim the sun. Harvard University experts will send a large balloon 12 miles above the Swedish town of Kiruna and have it drop 2 kilograms of chalk dust into the stratosphere. It says the aim of the mission, backed by billionaire Gilly, is to have the chalk deflect a portion of the sun's radiation, stop it from hitting the surface, and cool the planet. The idea has been heavily criticized since its inception, with the project director Frank Kuch even calling the need for this scale of geoengineering terrifying. Terrifying. And this is the project director. Why is the project director? Am I wrong about this, Dex? Is the actual project director for this project saying that the need for this scale of engineering is terrifying? What are we going to see? What is really happening? Is this not, with everything else that's going on, is this not, and us having to get to Mars? Are they telling the truth about 12 years left on Earth or something? Because it really seems like it. It seems like they're not telling us everything. We're not getting the full truth from the governments. And anybody that does tell the truth gets removed from office or removed from Earth. But not like on a fun trip to Mars. Backed by a range of private donors, including Gates, The test launch mission is launching from Sweden, as they could offer a launch by the end of the summer. And then, of course, in the UFO report to Congress, they'll say, actually, it was just early tests. It turns out all these UFOs were weather balloons. These ones, right? Look at that. Like teardrops. It's like the earth is crying upside down. Because Gilly is in charge of everything now, apparently, because his non-college education is more than enough to run today's idiocracy. But, I mean, he did have the Windows Phone. Remember Nokia, the Windows Phone?
That's the only phone I never owned.
You are a blessed man.
And I'm a gadget junkie.
It was so horrible. It was such a horrible mistake. And if these people can't figure out cell phones, how are they going to figure out Earth? Does anybody else agree? Just crazy sad. We have Diana. It says, had a missing time event and saw a strange creature. Interesting. Calling from California. All right, Dex, let's get Diana on. And then we'll talk about the last story. Secret military bases, locations reportedly revealed in a major map mishap. That's right. Mishap. Accidentally divulged. Diana, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Adam? Hey, Marfugel fam. Hey, Islands. Hello, world. Love you, Adam, guys. Dex.
So what's going on, Diana?
Well, this happened. I was working second shift, and a friend of mine was like, hey, I know a good place to camp. And so we got up at 11:30, and she was like, we'll be have camp set up by 1:30, and then we'll go fishing, I'm like, cool. So as she'd been up there as a kid, and as we were driving up the mountain, I just remember like seeing like a white light, and the next thing I know is like I'm not able to move. I'm like being examined on a table, and I'm like mad. I'm angry, and I want to get at him, but I can't. And basically, I was just knew I couldn't. But the only thing I could do is like, whatever you do, you still can't get to me because of Jesus. I know Jesus, and I didn't know Bible. I didn't know anything. I wasn't reborn or any of that. I just was like, dude, I know what I know. And, I'm from foster care, and, there's certain things God has his eye on. And, so anyway, long story short is, I was like, dude, and then this tall creature came up and was like, no, you can't do anything. You have to so I had to sit on the side and listen to my friend scream for like hours. The next thing I know, I wake up because the sun is in my eye, dude. We were supposed to get there at dark, remember, at 1:30. And I live in California. We were supposed to go up to Troy Meadows. So we know how far it is, all of this. And now, obviously, the sun's up and she's in the driver's seat, like frozen on her hands on the wheel. And I'm like, dude, how come we're still like, how come camp isn't broke? Why are we here? Like, why, how come we're here at sunlight? What happened? What just happened? She didn't want to talk. She's like, oh, like kind of frozen out. Bottom line was, the only difference was her experience and mine was that. And, after that, we really weren't friends anymore, but it was not, like, I don't know. So I think something's coming too. And that's all I could say. I got my EMP on my car, and that's all I can say.
So
it's like it happened yesterday, man.
Wait, so and I apologize, I missed the year this happened. What year did this happen?
This happened like I would say like 92, and going up to Troy Meadows. And this was like, I listened to Missing 411. A lot of that stuff makes sense, just like a lot of things. I go to Yosemite often. Just a lot of things. Like I didn't see a Chewy or anything, but like there was a lot of weird stuff that went on that night that made me not even want to stay that night. And I'm pretty like chill, and I'm even honorably discharged from the Navy. I'm not like a person you can just like, you know what I mean? Trip out. So like this, this, whatever it was, dude, whatever all of this stuff is, you know, it's definitely connected. There's sides to be chosen.
By the way,
everybody has to,
you said Chewie. You said Chewie. Are you talking about Chupacabra or Chewbacca?
Yeah, no, I'm talking about like a Chewie, like a Bigfoot, like a Chewie, like that come with UFOs and interdimensional stuff people see sometimes, you know, with missing 411 and all that stuff. I'm saying what I saw was like, you know, they were like they were not normal dogs. I'll put it like that. You know, these were not normal coyotes. These were not normal whatever they were like in the night glowing in the fire and all that. It was not kosher, not cool. And I was like, these are not normal, whatever they are, and it is time to go.
Well, it could
Bye,
be
Toy Meadows.
Could be demons.
That's how it was. Yeah. Thanks for letting me share. I love you guys, and take care, everybody.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Again, have a great night. Be safe. Be prepared. And Murph out. That was Diana. Have you had an experience similar to Diana's? I honestly would not be surprised by anything anymore. As far as I've seen some pretty weird stuff in the woods. I've seen stuff in the sky. I did see devil worshipping. I told you guys that story. My sister and I. In fact, I should have my sister on. She's the only other person alive now because my mom was with us. Pretty sure my mom was there. I know I was with my sister and at least, I think, one of my sister's friends. But we ran into it, and I think we were in Oregon. I was a smaller child, but I still remember it very clearly, which, who knows, maybe it was an implanted memory. But we saw them, they had cow tongues on sticks, and I didn't know they were cow tongues. So it really stuck with me, and they were around a fire. They had all of these masks, which now, as an adult, I think were probably, you know, what do you call it? Paper mache, like they made them. Who knows? I mean, it was Oregon, near California. We even thought about it later. Like, we talked about it a few years later, and we thought maybe it was, like, maybe they were shooting a movie. We don't know. We didn't get the full story. We ran and ran and ran. And I remember, we were just talking about this the other day, my sister was like, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ. We were so freaked out that those... I personally think that there's some real stuff out there, real evil, beyond what you see in front of you. And they are so very secretive. They do not do this out in public. They, you know, the people that are like, I worship this, you know, those kind of people, those aren't real, you know, they aren't the real ones. The real ones are scary as hell, and they would do it where there's not one chance somebody like us would see them. And we just happened to be like my mom. I want to say my mom. Because my mom would take us out and just go out in the middle of nowhere. And these guys were truly out in the middle of nowhere. Just scary as hell. I remember those tongues, and I thought they were real human tongues. And my sister had to tell me, like, no, those were cow tongues. That's a devil worshiping thing. Which is so freaky. And even to the thought that all of these cows in Oregon and all these other places just recently had their, you know, extremities taken out, but no blood, no nothing. How do they do that? Or do they keep the blood? Do they take that? Is that actually devil worshiping and not UFOs? It's creepy. Anyways, Dex, crazy stuff.
The thing that bothers me most about her story, and not it's just the whole notion of time loss, right? We've heard that before. We've heard it from other people's stories. Nothing like that's ever happened to me, but could you just imagine, like, all of a sudden having that gap, and you're like, what happened? Like, you know, an event happened, but in what you think was real life, all of a sudden there's this gap, and like, you don't know, you can't account for a large chunk of time. That's kind of creepy.
Well, that's exactly why it's like, you know, inserting memories, the title of this show. I hope this ends up being a good one. I hope you guys end up sharing this out. If you can, press the like button. I don't ever ask you guys If you stuck around this long, I would hope you would. Really do appreciate that. Cynthia Lynn, thank you for being number one over on DLive right now. Kelly2334 with the equivalent of 3 Ninja Guineas. Thank you so much for your massive support. Smoky Mountain Guy, you know you don't have to do that. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for helping in the chat. Thank you for being a positive force in the Fugel fam. Everdays, thank you again and again. Lisa K23, it's nice to have you back. I know I think you said you missed a couple shows. Thank you. It's so crazy that like sometimes I notice when people aren't here. All of these articles are going to be on the website, marfugelnews.com. Remember, you can go to the bottom and see all of the web-only content, all of the caller info. If you want to remember what show they're on or if they have a channel, it's usually at the very bottom. That will be updated live, and it will be on by the end of the show. And then, of course, all of the articles say if we couldn't say the words and you were like, what does it say after that? Or I didn't scroll far enough. You can access it all on marfugelnews.com. This, we have to do every single day, every time before every single show. If you want to support us in any way and help us, again, you can go to the right side of the page. Thank you, everybody. Much love. Dex?
You know what, Adam, real quick, on the website, because this comes in handy all the time, and everybody should know how to do it. There's a search button on the website. And like the other day, Adam was like, hey, what show did we talk about? San Diego. No big deal. I went up, hit the search button, typed in San Diego, and boom, it popped up. Right? So if you guys are looking for the content or you're watching something, you're trying to find historical stuff that we've talked about, even these articles, all the information is indexed in that search. So you can just search right up there.
Boom. See that? Typed in, well, I spelled Diego wrong. Boom. There's no preparing for this. Worldwide, radio signals. Say if you remember something like Bigfoot, Pacific Unrest, Will This Be Ridgecrest? There's a story about Bigfoot in that show. Is that not cool? Pretty freaking sweet. And then you go down to the stories and you'll see one about Bigfoot. 8-foot Bigfoot statue stolen from Florida mattress store. Dex, that's why you're the man. Thank you so much. Again, you guys, it really does take a lot of work. Dex is an amazing guy, and I'd like to keep him. So thank you all for supporting us through everything that we've gone through. Thank you, mods, for making it a positive place to be. End times. Thank you so much. It's nice to see you again. Say what's up to Cha Money. I was actually watching his show the other night on his. It was a coincidence. So that's so dumb. I love it though. Baker Babe, love my Fuglers. Stay healthy, stay strong, and prepared. Baker Babe, you have just been added to the Ninjet list. I have never seen. We have not had 2 in a show. That is. I think we've only had that once actually. All right. Well, thank you guys. Dex, thank you so much for being an awesome man.
Great show, brother. Much love.
And then, of course, it is now officially time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a shoutro. That doesn't sound as cool when you take the echo. Ooh, not the same. Which is where I say thanks to everybody that matters. You, thank everybody. And again, Cynthia Lynn, Baker Babe, you are getting a song here. And then, of course, Proctor Kidwell. And I feel like there's one more that should get a song tonight. I should make an EMP Shield song, but either way, thank you guys. Have a good night. Be safe. Be prepared. And Marv out.
I got the Popeye, K-Ross, the South Carolina man, McDonald, everybody dang. Gonna go right down like a lobster man. Cynthia Lynn, Cynthia Lynn, Cynthia Lynn, Cynthia Lynn, Cynthia Maryland Medical Company claims to have cure for low Florida pain. Eyes open, bizarre, bizarre. Teresa Rose, they're both so far. Stewie and been a good showcase king. I keep showering Ninky in the bring. Bring that barefoot lass and gray. Grim mirror, cognitive babble. Bring it right down to that babble. Hola. Got a Mike Hamilton on Iowa. Every night religiously. I see, I know Bitcoin giveaway. LP. I got the Paul Revere on the 11 with the damn beat. Jack Rabbit, everybody got it chip. You know, on the island, now embracing realtor bones. Cynthia Lynn, bizarre, right back at ya. Got the Charlie on the Patty Morton, eyes on peace. Keith Ray, fun size Cam and the Reese's, going back teasing. More Fools Gold, everybody decent. Peace out, Debbie Schmidt in and the Stormy. 7572, everybody warn me. Creepy Joe and the Creepy Boy, all BR and your channel on the door, and the Mercer One, and the Keith Ray, and the Moab Gary and the Mr. Ray. I'll bring you down like the down bay. Oh, now like Derek up my comeback. On the fun size cam on the Hummer. Bring out back like a Mr. Obama. Island on the Cabra. Oh, Chupacabra. Or maybe on the Chewy. Bring it back 1 or 3, maybe 2 weeks. Drewski. Chrissy Robinson going back with Angela Shelley on the best back. Got the fun size Cam Furious Cabbage at the background. Everybody want that package. Oh, now I'm gonna grab that baggage. Throw it off on the planet on the sad bit. Got the Nail Toe and the BJ Blake. I got Dave Parcelli and nobody fake. Cause my boys and the boy and the boys and the boy and everybody bringing it like Mr. Dory. I've got the funky on the only silver. Tiger Babble with the rapture girl now dabba able. I'll bring it down little. I got the ribble. I lure it then everybody with you in a under power bug nana. gonna speed it up, fun size cam. Bring it right back like I got that jam. Green Bay lady in a jump master gone. All got bear claws in that jam. Do it right back and I never say damn. Hot sauce dolls and I bring back damn. Got the fun size, Keisha on the lamb now. Go out to it on the bit, on the gram. Never been on the dick, on the 7 ruby rose. One hump, big green baby on my boat. I love, just maybe slow it down. Bring it right back like you never did now. 7 ruby rose on the faster, faster. On the bring back now, got to go faster, faster. Got the mama of 6 and the Paul Revere 11. Thank you back, I hope you go to heaven. I just want you to love each other. Gotta bring it down from the fire, going right back. I'm feeling it, everybody see that. Young man on the gym, baby on the bar, get the midterm, honey, don't get me. Only high in the gym in the midnight. Do it, everybody on that time, man. Meet it up with the Hillary Clinton, coming down around, everybody wanna go get it. Get in the airport, down in the ghetto. In the ghetto, I ain't getting at you. Take one in the only damn player. Gonna take back.
hold on. From the city to people, bring it right back with all of my people. Hey, with the mama on stick, Sparky run right on the dick. Hold on, with the kid Bill Morris, going right back, hanging out with the chorus. Over 29 hours here, bring it right back, and it is so clear. Yeah, girl, yeah, don't me. DJ play, everybody contact me. Yeah, gotta bring it on down, and then throw it down. Throw it on down, and then bring it on down. I'ma back it on back like the after hour at the booger. Bam, 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 and the one down. Green Day 80 and the one down. Already I need to go down. I might not sing a don't talk body, but man, everybody getting so party. Oh, now I got me some Bacardi. Don't think that I like to party. Gonna bring it back on to me. Gonna be the only thing that got me. Hot now, being on the VIP. I'm gonna be cold, being on the people, being on the disco, go out, disco. Hey, everybody down, don't be a cheapo. Nah, that cheapo, don't be a cheapo. Mom sing a dick like a G-Go, real one. I'm the G-Go, let me say I'm in the D, I'm the ball, let's go.
Riding on the gym beat, on the cedar, Andy on the grandma, C-R-D-da. Oh, gonna wear some Adidas, Allen Tommy on Natitas. Oh, gonna go shot shisha, gonna go on the shisha. Jumping up on the Google groove. Oh, here's a Google cool, and I'm old school. I've got that Robin Morris, I've got that hot in the chorus. Hey, save yourself, people. Hey, bring it all them people. Lord buying time, say your son. I can go back and gun, never gonna take it away from. Never gonna take my gun, never gonna run, never gonna let these colors play. Never gonna take my gun, I'm never gonna run. Gun, I'm never gonna run. Never take my 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 gun. Got to Google my Google News. Gonna bring it like Lord Byington, dude. Hey, with the Shastina, Debbie Schmidt, and everybody getting on greener. Greener pastures, bringing on the Astra. Gonna go back like I gotta go back, yeah. Oh, nah. Hey, down on the Ota, Ota. Gonna bring it on the Ota, Ota. I'm gonna go back now, nah. Hey, hey, Proctor, Proctor, Proctor. everything is swell. Park to get well, 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 everything is swell. Mystic microphage, can I pay them to write my name in the sky? Mr. Microphage, can I pay them to write my name in the sky? Bones and Cake Pop, Proctor, get well, everything is swell. Park to get well, everything is swell. Park to get well, everything is swell. Cindy Akron, everything is swell. Park to get well, everything is swell. Got the Doc Bill KB out in that AP. Everybody wanna go be an AP. Like a monkey doing all the funky, doing right back, elephant and donkey. Mom Frugal family knows how to ride. They sit by my side. They know I'm not perfect, but it's worth it. Park to get well, everything is swell. 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 I'm not perfect, but I'm sure worth it. Everything is swell. Park to get well, everything is swell. I'm not perfect, but I'm worth it. I'm not perfect, but I'm worth it. I'm not perfect, but I'm perfect. Oh, I'm the bring it on this hyper sweet. Going right back and you gonna know me. I've got the funky, bring the monkey. Oh, 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 oh. I was walking all the way down the street with my friend Papa Chaos and everybody, man. Hit on the proctor, everybody doctors not around here. Cynthia Leon and the Cali 234, smoking Mountain Gow every days and they ain't cold. Thanks, everybody gotta go back home. Green Bay Lady, Mr. Cornholio 44, J Girl, that's me, thank you, and one on B, Stormy 7572. Thank you so much, Scooby-Doo Do-Ride, Green Bay Lady. Of course, we have Stormy 7572 in the chat. Thank you, everybody, tonight. This month, Jimmy Shively, number one. Crazy support coming from Jimmy the Shive Ali. Gone Girl 777, number two. But always number one in my book. She's been here longer than most all of you, except for my mods. So thank you, Gone Girl. Kelly 2334, same thing. Cynthia Lynn, same thing. Zippy Moons, same thing. Amy R, wherever you are, thank you. Much love. Be safe. Be prepared. And morph out. Be safe. Be prepared. And morph out. safe, be prepared, and Marv out. Be safe, be prepared, and Marv out. Gotta go quicker on your cigar, won't have me all back on jig, never pull my gun away. Do it all day, do it all day. Special shout out to Lucy J. Motherfucker knows. Gonna bring you news. Gonna love you. Motherfucker knows. And Lucy J all the way. 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 Got a K.A. Paul and a Doc Bill. O.K.A. on the rock wheel. Okay, refuse in the hot bill. They be going on the ICL. Vintage jewelry on the eBay. Go visit Amon Fouglé. Can't refuse over there on eBay. J all the way. Lucy J all the way. Lucy J all the way. Dancing Underwood and I am there. Tell Beth Carter. Never gonna make it harder. Fancy and they call me Pippa. Hey, Mr. J. Thomas and Bollinger. Sandy, that is E&P Shield. Live for laughs and everybody real. He should have you who shall not be named. Bobby Bolin, oh so swollen. So woman in the moment on my moment. Norman Becker and thanks for your pledge. Love yous, motherfucker knows. Gonna bring you news. Gonna love you. I got the funky on the right, on the left. Go right back and I never ever stress. Got my life and that's all that counts. Freestyling off of the couch. Oh, now bring you back. Oh, now how to act. Got to do the task. Gonna love you. Motherfucker knows. I hope everybody had a fun time tonight. Thank you so much. Heidi12 says you remind me of Johnny Carson. Let's do the magic Salabeam, something like that. I can't remember. I wasn't born yet. Gonna bring you news. Gonna love you. I was always gonna go high on that line and everybody car. The ID at